Assalamualaikum. Our group will present about hazard analysis critical control point for menu for chronic kidney disease patient. So this is my group members and their metric numbers. Microbiological hazard is defined as any microbiological agent, contaminated foods or condition of food that is unacceptable because it has the potential to cause an adverse health effect, while microbiological critical control point is any step in production where measure can be applied to prevent, eliminate or minimize the likelihood of the presence of microbiological hazards at unacceptable levels. Lastly, microbiological critical limit is defined as maximum or minimum value to which a microbiological hazard must be controlled at a microbiological critical control point to prevent, eliminate or reduce to an acceptable level of occurrence of a microbiological hazard. This is our complete menu, which consists of breakfast, lunch set 1, lunch set 2 and dinner.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Diana Jiha. Today I would like to present about breakfast set for chronic kidney disease patients. So these are the breakfast set for suhun goreng ala Thai, ayam goreng oat, siu pak choy goreng and scone tanpa telur. So this is the flow of Haccp for suhun goreng ala Thai, and this is the flow for ayam goreng oat. So as you can see here, I label the storage of poultry as Haccp1. So these are the decision tree for storage of poultry, which the hazard involved is biological hazard, and the control measure for biological hazard is store the chicken at proper temperature, which we must store. If the chicken is stored in a freezer, we must store it below 0 degree Fahrenheit, where this question 2, I label it as OPRP as it determine that this step is not really CCP. And these are the hazard, critical limit, monitoring and corrective action for this step, which the hazard is biological. Critical limit is stored at 0 degree Fahrenheit or below if stored in a freezer. And the monitoring for this step is monitor the temperature with handheld thermometer 30 minutes within 6 hours. And the corrective action is if storage more than 0 degree Fahrenheit, call the technician and move stock to alternative location. So the next menu for breakfast set is siu pak choy goreng. So as you can see here, I label CCP1 for storage of vegetables before I label it as PRP or OPRP. So here the decision tree for storage of vegetables. This step involves biological hazard as it contaminates with soil. And the control measure for this hazard is store the vegetables at proper temperature. If it does not store in a proper temperature, the bacteria will survive and the vegetables will become not really fresh. And I label this question 2 as a OPRP as it is really not CCP and not too critical. And the storage of vegetables, for the storage of vegetables, I already mentioned it before. The hazard is biological. Critical limit store at 2 degrees Celsius below. The monitoring for this storage of vegetable, monitor the temperature with handheld thermometer 15 minutes within 3 to 4 hours. And the corrective action, if storage more than 2 degrees Celsius, call the technician and move stock to alternative location. And this is the step for scone tanpa telur.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Adana Najwa. So today I will explain about lunch set for chronic kidney disease patients. So the lunch set are 1 cup of white rice, 1 serving of lada benggala sumbat ikan, 1 serving of pajari nanas, 1 slice of papaya and 1 glass of orange juice. So firstly, we go to the flow of cooking method. For 1 cup of white rice, receiving is PRP, storage of rice CP1, wash 1 cup of white rice CP2, add 2 cups of filtered water CP3, cook the rice CP1 and serve on the plate CP4. The next one is 1 serving of lada benggala sumbat ikan, receiving PRP, storage CP2, preparation of the ingredients and thawing or PRP1, washing all the ingredients or PRP2, mix all the ingredients except for capsicum and coconut milk CP3, put the mixed ingredients into capsicum CP4, put the capsicum on the pot and pour coconut milk into it CP5, steam for 10 minutes CP1 and serving CP6. 1 serving of pajari nanas receiving PRP, storage CP1, preparation of the ingredients CP2, washing raw materials CP3, boil water, put half spoon garlic powder and boil the pineapple for 5 minutes or PRP1. Heat the pan and cook the blend chilies and other ingredients followed by adding tamarind. Pour the coconut milk, add kerisik and let it boil CCP1. Add pineapple, red and green chilies, mix well until the gravy becomes thick CP4 and serve in the bowl CP5. 1 slice of papaya, receiving PRP, storage, wash, cutting, serving all is CP. And the last menu is 1 glass of orange juice, where receiving is PRP, while storage, wash to remove wax or dirt, cut the orange into pieces, put orange into mixer and mix until smooth and serving is CP. So the next one is dysentery. Firstly, 1 cup of white rice. The step is cooking method. Cook the rice. Is there hazard? Yes. Biological hazard. Food spoilage bacteria. Do control measure exist? Yes. Control the temperature 100 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. It's a step designed to eliminate the hazard to an acceptable level. Yes. Prevent growth of microorganism. Thus it is CCP. Hazard analysis. Biological hazard because can induce the growth of Bacillus cereus. Critical control point. Temperature during cooking the rice. Critical limit. Cook the rice with temperature more than 100 degrees Celsius for 1 hour. Monitor procedure. Check the boiling of the rice using a food thermometer. Corrective action. Cook the rice more than to desired temperature, which is 100 degrees Celsius, or cooked in small quantities, and severity is extreme. And receiving of rice is PRP. And that's why 1 serving of lada benggala sumbat ikan. It is in a cooking method. Step is steam for 10 minutes. Is there hazard? Yes. Biological hazard. Food spoilage bacteria. Do control measure exist? Yes. Cook at 62.8 degrees Celsius for 10 to 12 minutes and steam over gently boiling water. This is the step specifically designed to eliminate or reduce the hazard. Yes, it can prevent growth of microorganism. Thus, it is CCP. So, hazard analysis, biological hazard, growth of microorganism, which is viral vinificus during cooking the fish. Critical control point, temperature steaming the fish. Critical limit, ensure temperature of fish should be minimum 145 degrees Fahrenheit or 62.8 degrees Celsius for 10 to 12 minutes and steam over gently boiling water. Monitoring procedure, check the temperature by using a meat thermometer and ensure the fish colour is opaque. Corrective action, cook until 75 degrees Celsius for 15 seconds within 2 hours or calibrate and adjust food thermometer to obtain the correct value of temperature. Severity, extreme, because viral vinificus can cause severe and life-threatening infection and many people can die. And then thawing of fish is an OPRP because this step involves a hazard which is a biological hazard, and the control measure is stored in chiller less than 5 degrees Celsius. And next one is washing. Washing, the step involved is involve a hazard which is physical hazard, which is a fish blood, and the control measure exists is good hygiene practice. Thus it is a OPRP. And the next one is receiving. Receiving, there is a control measure exists for identify hazard, and the control measure, good hygiene practice, inspection of incoming goods, management of hazardous materials, and it is a PRP. And then the next one is 1 serving of pajari nanas. It is in cooking method. In the step of heat the pan and cook the blend chilies and other ingredients followed by adding tamarind, pour the coconut milk and add kerisik and let it boil. Is there hazard? Yes. Biological hazard, food spoilage bacteria. The control measure exists? Yes. Cook above 74 degrees Celsius until boiling. The step can specifically design or to eliminate or reduce the hazard to an acceptable level. Thus, it is CCP. And hazard analysis, biological hazard, Critical control point, temperature of the coconut milk during boiling. Critical limit, cook over 74 degrees Celsius, which is above from temperature of food danger zone. Monitoring procedure, monitor the temperature of coconut milk by using a food thermometer. Corrective action, continue to cook until reach acceptable temperature which is above 74 degrees Celsius, or cook use microwave instead of pot. Stir always the coconut milk when on high temperature to avoid curdling. Severity, extreme. And next, also cooking step. However, this step is OPRP. The identified hazard is biological hazard, food spoilage bacteria, and the control measure exists is cook at 100 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes. And the next one is receiving. Receiving for pineapple, chilies, coconut milk, onion, garlic and others. Raw material is PRP. The next one is 1 slice of papaya. Only involve receiving of papaya, which is a PRP. And the next one is 1 glass of orange juice. The only decision tree is for receiving of oranges, which is a PRP.
Assalamualaikum. Now it's my turn to present about lunch set 2 for chronic kidney disease patient. My name is Siti Suraya binti Hamdan. This menu consists of stir-fried spaghetti with veggies, grilled chicken breast and apple juice. Firstly, I will explain about stir-fried spaghetti with veggies. This is the flow of cooking method for the spaghetti. The first step is receiving of raw material, which is considered as PRP1. Next, storing CP1, washing CP2, boiling the spaghetti to al dente CP3, cutting the vegetables CP4, cooking CCP1, and lastly serving CP5. Haccp decision tree is used to help in deciding whether a hazard control point is a critical control point or not. The first decision tree is receiving of raw material which involve a biological hazard, vegetative pathogen. Control measure for this type is quality assurance certificate analysis from supplier which already agreed by both parties before enter the production line. Therefore, this step is considered as prerequisite program or PRP. Next, decision tree for cooking. Cooking involves a biological hazard, Bacillus cereus, and the control measure is the temperature during cooking process must above danger zone temperature, which is more than 70 Celsius. This step needs to be controlled in order to prevent, eliminate, or reduce the risk of the hazard to continue. Thus, this step is critical control point or CCP. Hazard analysis in cooking step for stir-fried spaghetti with veggies is Bacillus cereus can grow easily and toxins form once pasta is cooked and begins to cool. Critical control point is temperature during stir-fried the spaghetti. Critical limit is cook at 75 Celsius for 3 minutes minimum. Monitoring procedure, check internal temperature of the stir-fried spaghetti using food thermometer. The temperature should be at least 75 Celsius or more and maintain that temperature for 3 minutes. Corrective action that can be taken is cook foods to a minimum of 74 Celsius. If food has not reached 74 Celsius, continue cooking by increasing the cooking time until it reaches 74 Celsius. Secondly, I will explain about the grilled chicken breast. This is the flow of cooking method for chicken. The first step is receiving of raw material which considered as PRP1, next storing CP1, thawing OPRP1, washing CP2, marinating OPRP2, grilling CCP1 and lastly serving CP3. The first decision tree is washing, which involves biological hazard, microorganism. The control measure for the hazard is supplier certification, purchase specification, and certificate of analysis. Therefore, this step is PRP. Next, decision tree for thawing step. Thawing step involves biological hazard, food spoilage bacteria, and the control measure for the hazard is thawing inside the chiller less than 5 Celsius. Therefore, this step considered as OPRP. Next, marinating. Marinating involves biological hazard, food spoilage bacteria. The control measure is marinating inside the chiller less than 5 Celsius, thus it's considered as OPRP. Lastly is grilling. Grilling involves a biological hazard, Listeria monocytogenes, E. coli and Salmonella species. The control measure is the temperature during grilling process must above danger zone temperature, which is more than 70 Celsius. This step needs to be controlled in order to prevent, eliminate or reduce the risk of the hazard to continue. Therefore, this step is CCP. Hazard analysis in grilling the chicken is insufficient cooking time and temperature. Critical control point, temperature during grilling the chicken breast. Critical limits, chicken needs reach a temperature of 95 Celsius or above for 15 seconds before being served. Monitoring procedure: check internal temperature of the grilled chicken breast using food thermometer at the thickest part of the chicken. The temperature should be at least 95 Celsius or more. Corrective action that can be taken is put the chicken in the oven and set the temperature at 95 Celsius and cook until it reaches 95 Celsius or above. Lastly, I will explain about the apple juice. This is the flow of cooking method for apple juice, which consists of OPRP and CP only. Receiving of raw material involve biological hazard, fruit pathogens. The control measure is quality assurance certificate analysis from supplier which already agreed by both parties before enter the production line. Therefore, this type considered as PRP.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Batrisha Lintan. I'm going to explain regarding the dinner menu for the chronic kidney disease patient. The dinner set consists of 1.5 cup of white rice, wolfberry steamed chicken with mushrooms, ulam timun and also strawberry smoothie. So we'll go first to the white rice. This is the cooking method flow of white rice, where the first process, which is the receiving of the white rice from manufacturer, is considered as a prerequisite program, PRP, while the cooking of the rice is considered as a critical control point, CCP, and other steps such as storage, washing, and also serving is considered as control points. Several Haccp decision trees are made for the cooking method of white rice. One of it is for the receiving process, which is considered as PRP because the receiving process is carried out before entering the operation system. Hence, several control measures do exist at this step, which is good hygiene practices, inspection of incoming goods, and also management of hazardous materials. Next, cooking of the white rice is considered as a critical control point because from this decision tree, this step does involve a hazard, which is biological hazard, and consists of a control measure. Therefore, in this cooking process, the hazard found is biological hazard, which is the Microbiology series. The severity of this hazard is very high, and the critical control point for this step is the temperature and time of cooking of the white rice. Critical limits that is established are the temperature of boiling water, which is 100 degrees Celsius, and the duration of cooking, which is 20 minutes. This method has to be monitored by ensuring the rice is cooked in proper temperature, which can be checked using food thermometer. In case the critical limit is not met as above, a corrective action is established where the rice can be recooked or cook it for a longer time to make sure that it reaches the proper temperature to prevent the growth of Bachelor series, which can cause foodborne illness. Next, we move on to the second menu of this dinner set, which is the wolfberry steamed chicken with mushroom. This is the cooking method flow of making the wolfberry steamed chicken with mushrooms, where the first step, which is the receiving of the raw chicken from manufacturer, is considered as prerequisite programs. And then the chilling process, which is the storing the marinated mixture in refrigerator for 30 minutes, is considered as OPRP, while the steaming process or the cooking process of the marinated chicken, mushrooms and wolfberries for 20 minutes is considered as critical control points, while other steps remain as control points. So this is the same Haccp decision tree made for receiving process, which is considered as a prerequisite programs, where it has a control measures which consists of good hygiene practices, inspection of incoming goods, and also management of hazardous materials. As for the chilling process, it is considered as OPRP, although a hazard does involve in this step, which is the biological hazard, and also a control measure for this step does exist, which is chilling in proper temperature for proper amount of time. Next, the cooking or steaming of the chicken is considered as critical control point. So this step does involve a hazard, which is a biological hazard, mainly the Salmonella species, and also a control measures, which is steaming in proper temperature. In this steaming process of the chicken, the hazard found is biological hazard, which is Salmonella species and other microbes. So the severity of this hazard is considered very high, while the critical control point for this steaming process is the temperature of the water, duration of cooking, and also temperature of chicken after cooking. So the critical limit established for this process is the temperature of water for steaming is 100 degrees Celsius, steaming duration is for 20 minutes or more, and also the temperature of chicken after cooking is 165 degrees Fahrenheit. Next, the monitoring procedure for this step is to check the inner temperature of the chicken after cooking using food thermometer to make sure that the inner temperature reaches 165 degrees Celsius as stated in the critical limits. And lastly, corrective actions for this step is to cook the chicken for extra time until the inner temperature reaches 165 degrees Fahrenheit or above, or cook the chicken in smaller portions for even cooking. Next menu for this dinner set is ulam timun, and this is the cooking method flow for the ulam timun, which is the receiving of the cucumber is considered as a prerequisite program, and other steps such as storage of the cucumber, washing, cutting, and also serving is considered as control points. So the same Haccp decision trees are made for the receiving process, which is considered as a prerequisite program, where a control measure does exist at this step, which is good hygiene practice, inspection of incoming goods, and also management of hazardous materials. The last menu for this dinner set is the strawberry smoothie. This is the cooking method flow for making strawberry smoothies, where the receiving of the frozen strawberries is considered as a prerequisite program, and other steps are considered as control points. The same Haccp decision tree is made for the receiving process, which is considered as prerequisite programs. This step consists of control measures, which is the good hygiene practices, inspection of incoming goods, and also management of hazardous materials.
So, in conclusion, hazard analysis critical control point Haccp should have conducted to determine whether there are food safety hazards that reasonably likely to occur for each kind of dish for kidney patients, and to identify the control measure and critical limits that can apply to control the hazards. Then, decision tree also a useful aid to the selection of critical control point as part of Haccp. Decision tree can determine if the identified hazard were a threat to product and can prevent, eliminate, or reduce hazard to an acceptable level. It is very important to follow proper handling and storage to reduce risk of foodborne illness and ensure the quality of the product, because, as we know, the harmful bacteria on the food cannot be seen. Thus, we must handle it as if it present. So that's all from us. Thank you.